Hey guys, what's up? It's Willy B, bringing back episode 10 of Spigot plugin tutorials. Today we're going to be talking about chat filters and getting some bad words out of our chat. But first I want to talk about our sponsor today, Bisect Hosting. So Bisect Hosting is a great Minecraft server host. If you're looking to host your test server or a live server, either way, it's great. They also have VPS and dedicated servers, and they even have Pocket Edition servers if you're running a Minecraft Pocket Edition server. And these are the prices here. I just want to quickly point out that you can also go to the link in the description and use coupon code WillyB for 25% off, which means you can get a $6 package, which could either be, your premium package 1 or a budget package 4. That would be a $6 a month package, and you can get that 25% off, so that brings it down to $4.50 for your first month. Go check those guys out if you want to support them, support the channel, support me, and also get a great host in the process. So we're in our Eclipse window now, and I'll just run you through the project structure real quick. So we've got File Manager, which is our normal file manager we have done in the past. We also have a main, a listener class, a tools. This is tools that I use in all of my plugins. There's only one method in this for this, but I usually do have 2 or 3, sometimes up to 10, depending on what I'm using. But it's just a nice utility class to have. For this one, it's just going to be send message, and it'll send the message to the player, but it interacts with our file manager nicely, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Also, our config messages and plugin.yml are all done previously. I'll run you through those after in a bit, but we have done those as well in the past, so we don't need to go through all of that again as well. So let's just get into it here. In our main class, we're going to want our onEnable method. Override public void onEnable. Got a new keyboard today. I'm not really used to it yet, so there might be some mistypes. So file manager .check files, and that's our main thing in the file manager class here. As you can see, and there's a few things in red there. It's because we have erased everything from our main and need to replace it. So this dot save default config, and that's for our actual config.yml file that basically just loads in the file and sets all of the defaults from our config.yml we have set up in the jar, and that loads it into like the server folder for plugins. So that's what that does there. I don't know if I've mentioned that before. Like I said, it's been a while. Plugin manager PM equals bucket.getServer.get plugin manager, and then PM.register events. I'll go with this one here, and we're going to put in listener class parentheses this. I know that's probably going to freak out because we don't have anything going on in there. Oh, no. Why it's going off is the new, missing that. And that's all we need in the onEnable. Even simpler than that is the onDisable. Public void onDisable parentheses, and then that's it. We just need it there. And that's all it does. It doesn't do anything. Then we'll set up our command. So public boolean on command sender command cmd string label string args. I have not typed that out in a long time. I usually just copy and paste it from anywhere, literally anywhere as I can find it. We don't want to put return false there as the default. And then boolean is player equals sender instance of player. There. So now that's going to tell us if the if whoever's writing this command is a player or not. So if they are a player, so this command won't work in the console. but there's no reason for that other than I just wanted to show you this little thing. So player equals player sender. And I don't know if I talk about this stuff much, but putting the parentheses player in front of the word sender is casting the sender object to a player object and assigning that to the variable player. It uses the word player a lot, which is confusing, but basically all it's doing, sender is just the command sender. So R0, so that's the first argument, and then we're going to want to do equals ignore case, and then this is going to be a reload command for this plugin, so it's going to reload the file. It's going to update it. So if we wanted to add in new words to our filter, or if we wanted to change the config at all, if we wanted to change the messages at all, that would be like we could just use the reload command through the plugin. As a player does not has permission. Come on, permission. There we go. For filter.reload. So if they don't have that permission, and this is where our tools thing is going to come in. So we're going to wait on that for a minute, and then return true. Ended the command. There's nothing else to do after that. Else. And I've started doing a new technique where I just get rid of if they don't have permission first, and then go on to do the rest of the stuff after. I used to do it the other way around. Doesn't make much of a difference, but the thing where they don't have permission is usually a bit shorter. So I have that on top, and then all the other code below it in the else. It doesn't make too big of a difference though, so don't worry about it too much. But here we're going to do this .reload config, which is different than the onEnables save default config. That's just, it's doing the same kind of thing, but it's just reloading it into the server. File manager .check files, and then we're going to do a tools thing as well, which is going to send the message, and you'll see why it's a little nicer to do the tools thing once we get to it. Return true. There, so that's our that's basically our entire main. A couple more things we're going to do though is private static main inst, which is just getting the instance. There's a couple things we have to do that, but that's going to allow us to get the config, because only the main can access the config easily. So to do anything with the config from other classes, we need access to it from main, so we have to create an instance of main in order to get. So public main, capital M, I think, public main, and that's the name of your class here. So if you're naming your main class something other than main, just rename that, and you'll be fine. So inst equals this. Then public static main get inst return inst, and that's it. That's all we have to do there, and that's going to allow us to use the config in other classes. So we're going to hop into tools now and get started on this one here, and all it is just it's to send the player a message from our listener, or from our file manager. So public void send message, and all we need here is the player in question that we're sending the message to, and then the string for the message key. So we'll just call that message key like that, and then we just need to get the message that doesn't have the color translated. And this is the reason I do this, is just to reduce the amount of code I have to do every time I send a player a message, instead of having, and you'll see how much code, there's only 3 lines, but if you do it every single time you want to send a message to a player rather than just t.send message, it makes it a little, it's a little nicer to do it this way. And you'll notice your code looks a little bit cleaner as well. So file manager .get message .get string, and then we're going to use the message key. So that's going to get the string from our file manager that matches the string we're sending the player. And I'll show you an example of this in a second when we go back to our main class and finish it. And then string message, and this is where we're going to translate the color codes from it, which uses the ampersand symbol. So translate alternate color codes, and then single character, the ampersand, excuse me, the ampersand, and I'm going to put message no color in here. Oop. Yeah, and then player dot send message, and then message. And that's it. We should put a return there as well. Come on, there. Yeah, and that's all we have to do there, and that's our entire tools class done. So we can go back to main now. We'll need to do tools t equals new tools, and then down here we can do t dot send message player, and it already guesses that anyways, and then the output thing, or the message key here, is output dot no dash permission, and that's our message, and we're going to copy that. I'm going to put it there, but instead it is output dot command dot reload. So this is an organization technique I've been using for a little while for my messages. Basically, it organizes them in a way that it makes sense. It's easy to figure out where everything is, where everything goes, and then it doesn't get confusing with different messages for things. So you could do no permission dot reload if you wanted to, and even go more specific with it. There's not really a need for that. But yeah, so that's our entire main done now. But the bulk of the plugin is in the listener class. This is where we are. This is where we're listening for every chat message and checking to see if they've got any of the words we've banned. But before we go into this, I'm gonna hop into the config and show you guys that. So this is our config. Here we have the banned words, which is we're just gonna use eat, and the very bad words, which is z. Like I said, that's just gonna make it so you can say wheat and not eat. And then if you say anything with the letter Z in it, it'll block the entire message. Our plugin YML, pretty simple here. There's not a whole lot going on in here. And this, of course, will be in the description as well, as you can download all this stuff. But basically, it just goes to the name, the author, and you're allowed to change that as well. It's not a big plugin, I don't mind. And then the description, your main thing here, that's the biggest thing you're going to want to mind. If you get that wrong, it messes everything up. And I've shown how to do that before, but I'll show you quickly again. So you go into your main, and then get your package name up here. So me.inamine.chatFilter, and then you don't want to add dot, and then your class name here. So if you get that wrong, it'll freak out. So make sure you double check it. Next is the config we looked at there. Next is messages. So we got output.command.reload. So dot is when you go into anything. So you go output dot, which brings it down to here, command dot, which brings it down to here, reload, or output dot no permission, or output dot no, bad word. And you can of course have a bunch of different ones. If you wanted to have something other than just output, obviously you can do that. I have everything under output because it is output, but it does of course add that extra piece that you have to add every time. But that's why I like the little send message thing, because it reduces all this code down to just t.send message player output no permission, and that's all. That's it. That's all you have to do. It gets this from our file manager, like our message file, translates it to what has the color codes, and then it sends it to them. So that's the beauty of that. But let's hop into the listener class here. Now that we know what we're looking at with the config there, with the banned words and the very bad words, kind of stupid names for the things, and of course you can change stuff like this if you want to. This is just what I'm going to be doing. To start off here, we're gonna get access to our tools class again, which just means we have to do tools t new tools. And then this is a very important piece, and I forget it almost every time. @event handler. If you're handling an event, you have to have @event handler before the method. Also, big thing as well that I should mention, you're going to want to make sure listener class implements listener. That's very important there. Otherwise, it won't do anything in here because it won't know that it should. So you could have all of this perfect and forget that, and it won't work. Same with the event handler, and that's what drives me nuts a lot of the time. Because I'll look at the code, I'm like, yeah, there's like nothing wrong with it, or it's not even activating, and then I'll realize that event handler isn't there. So make sure you got all that stuff set up there, and then let's hop into this here. So public void on player chat, and then we're gonna want to access async player chat event. I'm going to call that event. Now that we're in here, we want player equals event dot get player. So that gives us the player that's chatting. Pretty obvious there, I think. But then player. Oh geez. Sorry guys. So player dot has permission. So if they have filter dot bypass, right, it should be in quotes there. So if they have filter dot bypass, we're just going to return. Jeez, there we go. So if they have permission filter dot bypass, they won't be censored by the filter at all. So make sure you don't give that willy-nilly to people. That's a sacred thing. And if you're owner and you want to have the filter activated on you and your admins and stuff, make sure you don't have the asterisk permission. And if you do, just add yourself the permission filter.bypass with a dash in front of it. That'll work with almost every permissions plugin. So here we go, string message equals event dot get message. So that's getting the message they're sending into chat. So now we have the player that sent the message and what the message is. Yeah, so now we're just gonna get every word that's in the message. So string, this is an array, by the way. I don't know if I've talked about them before. It's similar to like lists, like string lists, but it's simpler, I guess, to explain it quickly. So we're gonna want to do message dot split, and then here we're just gonna have a space. That's literally it, just a space, and all that's doing is separating every word. So obviously to be separated by spaces, so you're just separating them by spaces there. And you want to do list string band words equals main dot get inst dot get config dot get string list, and then band words, and there we go. And that'll give us the list of words we can't have. And the way the words work is that they if that word is on its own as one of the words that's in the string array of words, like if it's got spaces on the other side, if it spaces on the other side, it'll be removed, like the chat will be blocked. Whereas with the very bad words, which we saw in the config there, if that's in there at all, in the middle of any word, that kind of thing, it'll completely block it. So let's load up that list as well while we're right here. List string very bad words equals, it's going to be the same kind of thing as above there, so get inst dot get config dot get string list, and then very bad words. Alright, and then for string word in words, and then I'm going to want to do for string b word in band words. So this is us iterating through the list of banned words. So that's just like if it's on its own. That's the one we're going through right now. So if word dot equals ignore case. Ignore case is important, especially when dealing with stuff like this. Ignore case is basically no matter if it's uppercase or lowercase, if the letters are the same letters, if the letters match up, then it matches up. So if word equals b word. So this is a double loop, and it's not dangerous really to have these as long as they do have ends. Basically what it's going to do is it's going to go through every word in the chat. So it'll get a word, and then it'll check every banned word, and if it's one of the banned words, then that's what we're going to do here. So event dot set canceled, we're setting that to true. So that means the chat message will not be sent, it's been canceled. And then we'll do t dot send message player, and then output dot bad word. And I'm just going to want to do return there. So that's for that there. And then next we're going to be looking at the very bad words. So for string, and this is pretty complicated here, v b word in very bad words. So we're not iterating through the list of words that were sent anymore. We're just looking straight at the message itself. So if any of these words are in the message entirely, so if the letter Z is anywhere in the message on its own inside of another word, that kind of thing. If you guys can hear my cat snoring in the background, I apologize. It's probably super adorable though. Enjoy it while it lasts. I certainly am. But yeah, so inside of here, we're just going to do message.contains. So what this is going to do is check if the message in total, the entire message that the player sent, contains. So if any words in that, it has what we're looking at currently in our for loop of very bad words. So if any words in there contains it, we're going to be canceling it as well. So event.set canceled true. T dot send message player, and then output dot bad word, and then return. Oh jeez, return. And there you have it. That's a fully functional chat filter plugin. We'll hop on to the test server now and give it a run through. I'll show you guys how everything works, and yeah, so here we are on the test server. I've got the plugin loaded up and everything. All you really need to do is just /reload if it's the only plugin on your server. Most other plugins will have issues. This one's not really going to have a problem. Not much to it. So we've got our config loaded up and everything. So we're going to go ahead and test it. So first we'll just write eat some bread. Oh, we can't use that, but we can say wheat is in bread. So we can do that, and then if we wanted to type zebra, we can't. If we want to just type Z, we can't. And we can't type, eat anywheres. We could say eats, as long as it's not on its own. And that's all there is to it. There's the permission node to bypass the filter. If you have op on your test server, which is likely, then you're going to want to disable that permission. You'll need a permissions plugin. I'm just using PEX at the moment because it's quick and easy. There's not a whole lot to it, so I just throw PEX on my test server. So literally all that's on here right now is PEX and chat filter. So that's all there is to it, guys. Hopefully you liked the video. Found it informative. If you did, make sure you hit that like button. Let me know you enjoyed the video. Also, make sure you check out Bisect Hosting. I mentioned it before, but like this test server, it's so convenient to use. Make sure you check out that link in the description. Make sure you give them some love for sponsoring the video. Maybe they'll do it again. Who knows? But most of all, thanks for watching, guys. And as always, peace out.